Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Cody Wilbert from URL Insurance Group. I have for you today with me George Sheets, Don Grayball, and Dave Garver here to speak about the AnnuityPro Academy program. Before we get started, any of you who are new to us here, URL Insurance Group is established in 1986 out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. That is where we operate today as well. We operate in life, health, annuities, Medicare, and employee benefits. So there are plenty of opportunities for you to come here, be able to cross-sell, and work with many of the industry-leading experts in different areas here at URL. Another thing we are proud of is we have an ongoing training schedule that goes out every Monday to let you know of all of the departments and all of the upcoming trainings that are taking place right now. So, least thing you could do is sign up with URL to get on that email and try to see what some of the great opportunities we have coming for 2025 for you. I want to introduce as well George Sheets. George has brought to us last year his AnnuityPro Academy program. What this program is it is a seminar selling program to help you either better your annuity sales or start your annuity sales. And really what we want you to do is have the ability to go out, cross-sell on your current clients, and also be able to go out and have new clients coming in that are going to sit at these meetings. George has done a really good job of putting together turnkey forms, PowerPoints, books, and other items that you can use through our website to turn around and start selling seminars yourself. One of the things that we get asked a lot through this program is different questions on how are agents doing right now who are taking place in this. The program itself is still in the infancy stages. We started last year, roughly around May of last year. So with about 6 months of success, we have some agents that we wanted to invite and give you some real results, real questions, real answers from them that you can kind of ask, yourself, is this a good fit for you? Or do you want to see yourself take a step further in the annuity commission side of things and really boost your commissions for 2025? So without further ado, I do want to kind of jump into it here. I did invite Don and Dave today. With that being said, I'll kind of just start with, give me a little bit of introductory about yourself. And Dave, I'll start with you. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
I'm Dave Garver. My wife and I were in the TV and appliance business 15 years, and after it was no longer affordable to stay in the business, due to an accident where insurance got us through those 2 years, I decided to go into the insurance business. After 35 interviews, I was accepted by Prudential, went in the training program. I spent 9 years as a sales manager, 6 as an agent, and of course, since that, I've been affiliated with URL all the way through to today.
Excellent. How about you, Don?
Yeah, I've been in insurance here since 2001 is when I first got my start with a company called Combined Insurance. It was a door-to-door accident accident insurance salesman, and was with them a while. Made some management, but then back in 2011, I went on my own with Medicare and final expense, and got licensed for annuities, and been running my own show since then.
Awesome. And something to call out as well too. Don was our top selling life insurance salesman last year. So congrats to that, Don. Again, from the 2023 aspect, I just wanted to bring that up as well for those of you watching. So let me ask you guys, pivoting off of that, what drew you to the program, Dave, initially with the AnnuityPro Academy?
I would say in training agents and being an agent, our number one item is prospects. What drew me to the program is through the mailing and the workshops, the people come to you. And with that in mind, I want to reiterate again that we are part of an association of financial consultants. It's a nonprofit. And I think it's very important to let that client know that we're doing this as a volunteer for them, for the workshop. No product's going to be discussed until we get together. And of course, at that point, we'll try and take care of their needs at the least cost to them.
How about you, Don?
Yeah, so what drew me to the program was, I just got an email saying, hey, come to a meeting and meet George Sheets. And learn how to add $10 million in annuity business to your income. So that excited me. I came to the meeting and met George and, started talking about the program. But really what drew me to it was I was initially looking to learn how to cross-sell annuities. I had been licensed in it for a while, just never marketed it, and was learning how to market them. And really, ideally, was originally just to learn how to cross-sell them off of final expense and Medicare clients. So I thought it was a good fit, and wanted to learn more and get involved.
Awesome. So then what would you say maybe initially, as you're looking at the program, as you're hearing about it a little bit, you came in and saw some introductory from George. What do you think was your biggest hesitation, Don, maybe taking that first step or going into the program itself?
Yeah, so really for me, I didn't have really any hesitation at all, frankly. But the biggest thing, this is more just a personal standpoint. I didn't have the actual knowledge. I was lacking more of the, I was more concerned about the transfer paperwork and all the logistics of selling and actually placing the business and, having enough product knowledge, industry knowledge to compete with some of these other advisors and know what I'm doing. So that was my biggest, hesitancy,
Sure.
looking to overcome.
Sure. Yeah. And I appreciate that. And one thing to kind of call out too, before I ask you, Dave, is really when we put this call together, we wanted to kind of do this. And it was, have two guys with two different levels of annuity experience, and kind of see how that impact was through the program from two different folks there. So Dave, you having a little bit more annuity experience behind you, you have written them before in the past. What was your hesitation, I guess, going into the program initially?
I would say the only hesitation was discussing this with my wife. And she says, "You're going to spend that kind of money? How do you know you're going to get a return?" I said, "I can assure you we will get a return, and we have been." And of course, now she's all in, and I'm all in as well, because it's very nice. You can set your commissions up either to get one time or you can get it spread over a couple period of time. I chose that method. And again, you and I know we cannot do anything without the financial resources to do it. But by the same token, we're doing a valuable service to many people who are paying big dollars for advisors, and we can come in and do a very nice job for that same individual. And what does it cost them? Nothing. We get a finder's fee, and we're happy with that, and they're happy with us, and that makes a good fit.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic from that side of things. And a lot of times, that is the initial hurdle, in my opinion. Wouldn't you say, George, when it comes to folks signing up would be, maybe the financial piece of what, you need coming into it. But again, as you said many of times before, George, you can have 5, 6, 7, 10 times your return on investment. Why don't you give me an example, George, of maybe a recent seminar that you've had?
Well, I'll tell you, my returns at the low end, but I admit I'm better at it. My returns at the low end, a low end is 10 times what I spend. And actually, towards November of last year, I was actually hitting 45 times what I spend. I'm not sure anybody does that. But I find that someone new at this, if they listen to what I say and they flow through it, they should be able to do 3 or 4 times what they spend. You'll definitely close, maybe not close, but you'll get in front of a lot of money. It's amazing how much money you're going to get in front of.
Yeah, absolutely. And let me ask, as far as we're talking about maybe the hesitancy side of things, what do you think has been the best part of the program so far, Don?
For me, the best part of the program, honestly, has really been the mentorship I got from George and you, Cody. So, gaining the knowledge to go out here and get these sales. And so to me, that's really the most rewarding.
Have you found the website to be valuable at all for you, as far as maybe like a quick stop for frequently asked questions or forms or anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. It helps to stay sharp. I mean, there's so much you got to remember to do this. So it's good. It's real easy to use. It's right in one location. if you can't quite remember something or you're not quite sure about something, you can go back and watch it over and over and over, and just get that repetition to get it ingrained in you.
Great. So Dave, how many appointments would you say you'd average from a seminar or a selling seminar? I know you used kind of your current clientele first to really do this prior to doing the buying the leads and that side of things. But what would you say appointment wise you were kind of averaging after that seminar?
First off, I had to make the transition because I did sell my book of business to URL and my Medicare business, and therefore I had to make a transition with those clients, not only being their Medicare and health insurance person in life. I had to show them or demonstrate to them that we are a full-fledged person that's going to be in the business to conserve their assets and grow their assets. And through that, those appointments went from in August right on through to December. And now we have a workshop set up for the end of this month. And of course, with that, we're going to be emphasizing over the next 2 weeks after the workshop. But again, you're going to find, and I found this from my own clients, and I anticipate this with new clients, you're going to find that you're going to get appointments that you just cannot believe, and repeat, appointments that are going to put money in the bank because, again, every couple $100,000 that you put into this system is going to generate a nice income.
I got to throw in on that. When I first started doing this and I started getting better at it, I always say the poorest looking person in my workshop has the most money. The amount of people that I've talked to who have 800,000, $1 million, 2 million, 3 million, who I thought were drop dead broke when I went to their house, it amazed me. It still amazes me. The people you think that are your clients that are the poorest many times have 1 or 2 million, and you don't know it, even if they live in a trailer park.
Well, and I think, what's important too, George, and to kind of piggyback off of what you just said is, look at the area that you're in too, and think about the area you're in and what clientele you think it would be best for you to be in front of as well too. So for instance, if you feel that there's a bunch of high net worth clients that are maybe in a big city or somewhere that's really close to you, and you maybe aren't fully ready or established for that yet, maybe go to a more blue collar town or somewhere that, you have more folks with just standard retirement funds and things like that you could work on as well too. So just something to keep in mind, something to balance. But to George's point, it doesn't really matter where you are. The folks that are coming to these things have established accounts, have savings, have retirement funds that they are going to be looking to at least work with, move, or hear you out on what you plan to.
And it's funny you say that, because I'll let Don speak to that. But Don and I got together and he did his first couple workshops in an area that I would call a little bit upscale, but not tremendously upscale, but a little bit upscale. And all he was seeing in his appointments were people with 800,000, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, widows with 2 million. How about it, Don?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's amazing, getting in front of such, big net worth clients like that.
And Don, can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
Did they look at you as the expert? Did anyone?
Yeah, absolutely. So, that's another thing. Thanks for bringing it up, George. Yeah. George's system really will transform you into knowing nothing about annuities to being an expert and a professional. The system, doing the workshops in person, just his whole system really brings that out in anybody that's willing to do it. So you get up there, as soon as you're up there in front of the audience, they've seen your mailer, they've gotten everything. I mean, they're gonna believe pretty much anything you say at that point. I mean, you're just gonna look the part, act the part. So it really positions you well to get in front of those clients.
Yeah, we're actually going to reposition Don somewhere where it's a little less upscale, so he won't be seeing. It sounds sad, but he won't be seeing the 1 and 2 million people. Hopefully, he'll be seeing the 200,000, 400, 800. But you got to think about this. If he even sees a 500,000 401k and gets it, that's $30,000 in his pocket for that meeting. It's the profitability of it's incredible.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that. So Don, as far as what you were seeing after some of your appointments, what would you say was an average, maybe number of appointments you were looking at after the seminars?
Like I said, I was brand new. I ran 2 workshops completely on my own, and I was getting about 8 to 10 appointments between both, lunch and dinner workshops. I was getting a total of 50 to 60 people per per day. So about 25 to 30 per workshop. I was doing double workshops, 2 a day. But so I was getting about 8 to 10 out of about 55 to 60 people showing up.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. And then as far as you would say, what do you think maybe the profit potential for something like that would be, as far as a seminar goes?
I mean, if I was a little sharper, a little more experienced, I mean, I should have easily have written $1 million out of each workshop.
Okay. That's a great figure.
Translate that into money, Don. If you
so that's $70,000, $65,000 to $70,000 in commissions that you could have easily gotten on an investment of like $7,500. So basically a 10 to 1 investment or 6 to 1 on your money.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. And Dave, how about yourself? What would you say you kind of saw from yours?
I'm going to say this out of mine, and this alludes to what Don was saying. I had a client that was going to put $300,000 with me. We ended up moving that up to just under $1 million. I mean, again, it's a regular individual out there. You would never suspect that he has this kind of money, but with his 401k and his savings, we put it to work for him, and he's elated. And again, I know everybody says don't work on referrals, but he's already sent me another 2 clients. So that's the way this thing just starts to build and grow. And again, as Don was saying, you get in that 5, 6, 700,000, close to $1 million. I mean, as George says, every $1 million is about 77 grand.
Yeah, for guys on this video, a lot of you are selling life insurance or you're selling Medicare, and I applaud you that you're really good at what you do. But if you sign a Medicare client, you're getting maybe $700, but that Medicare client could seriously have a $400,000 401k that they got to transfer into an annuity. That $400,000 401k is basically a $30,000 commission. So you're getting $700, but you might be walking away from $30,000 on top of that.
Yeah, and let me ask you, Dave. Since that first one went through, and you were kind of using your own clients, what would you say? And I'll use the term maybe low end on the budget for that kind of thing because you were using your own clients. What would you say is maybe a lower end or what you budgeted for that first meeting that you did, Dave?
Well, the first meeting, we had our own mailing and we had the dinner or buffet that we provided. Other than that, I mean, that was our expense. And again, you were looking at a couple $1,000s, but if you relate that to what the return is on the amount of money that you can place, I mean, it's minuscule, really, when you think about it.
Yeah. And I mean, it's kind of good to hear because George and I have talked about this before. We have guys coming in that are going to spend, maybe $3,000 to start, and we got guys that are going to spend $7,000 to start, and it's going to range in between there. It's really going to come down to what your clientele is, what you're able to do as far as from a lead standpoint, and what you need to keep in mind is kind of these guys have all said is one sale will get you that back, and then you can kind of go forward with that or decide to move forward with that from that point. So there's a ton of profit potential there.
Well, and let's throw in a combination here of Dave and Don. Now, I haven't talked to either about what I'm about to say, but it's my impression. Don, because he was much newer at it, he listened to a lot of what I said and implemented it. And like I said, he could even made more money, but a few fell through the cracks. He was in a richer area. It's harder to get $1.5 million than it is to get $500,000.
Market was very high.
Market was very high. Stock market's high. Not a reason to move into an index annuity. So he really listened, watched the videos, listened to what I said. Dave, on the other hand, I realize Dave feels very confident in his abilities. He has a knowledge of annuities. He does that. And he didn't really spend as much time watching the videos or following what I said. And Dave, would you agree by not saying at the end that you normally charge $600 in that? He strung out his appointments, and I think now he realizes if he would have done exactly what I said, he would have brought those appointments in tighter and probably made more sales. Would you agree or disagree with that, Dave?
I agree with that because, again, normally we provide a service, a very valuable service at no cost. These folks have their money with the money manager, and I guarantee you they're getting their fee. And one guy said to me, I realize what I'm paying out, but as long as I can do at least 6-7% of my money and it's safe, I'm pretty good with that. And my question to him was, how safe is it really? We're telling you with our product, you don't have a loss. You might have a pause, but no loss. What are you going to do when the market drops and you're talking to your advisor and things are moving in such a rapid pace? That just leaves with this concept.
Yeah, and to qualify for people in this video, we're talking about offering for sale indexed annuities, which indexed annuities can never lose money in the stock market. So there's no chance of risk. They get a big upfront bonus of 13 to 18% the first year. Think about that. $500,000, you get no chance of losing money. You get $80,000 to $90,000 guaranteed the first year, and year 2 through 10, you get a stock market participation return, which will probably average 5 or 6%. It's appealing to a lot of older people that are on Medicare. So it's your typical Medicare client.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And let me ask you, from maybe just to get one of your guys' opinions here, Don, what would you say to, someone with no experience who wants to join the program?
Yeah, I mean, I would say if you got no experience, that's fine. Just get involved. If you have, desire to do it and you're looking to make a lot of money, it's a great program. I mean, you're learning from one of the best in the industry with a tried and true, system, and that's really the difference. So, no experience doesn't matter. You can get in. You can, you can quickly learn the information that you need to get out there and make sales.
Sure. I appreciate that. And Dave, how about from your side? I've heard you and I, through conversation, you say, my clients are looking at me now differently, from that side of things. So I know you've had some experience selling annuities, but what would you say to someone, maybe with a little bit of experience, or maybe someone that was really heavy in Medicare like you were, who kind of has now the opportunity to go out there and create more business for themselves or do more business? What would you say to that person about the program?
What I would say is, as a sales manager, when you're training a person for life insurance and then also the medical end of the insurance, here you have one product, you have an indexed annuity that is very simple to understand. And once you learn the concept, that's really what you're running with, the concept of this product. Like George said, the market didn't drop 30, 40, 50 points. And what do you lose? Absolutely nothing. Your account's going to take a pause, but as soon as the market starts rebounding, you don't have to dig out of a hole. You're going to start at that point and start to grow again.
And here's the thing to remember. You could have 40 people at a workshop, or you could have 40 existing clients you send a mailer to like Dave did. All it takes is one person to give you $500,000 out of 40. And in that 40, I'm going to guarantee you have $10 to $20 million sitting in those 40 people, whether you believe it or not. I don't care if you're in a rural area. So all you need is one client to give you $500,000, and you just walked away with $35,000 in commissions. One client out of 40.
Yeah.
Let me add, George. I now know, out of my existing clients, I know of 10 millionaires I'm not done with, if you know what I'm saying.
Right, but what you said before is you didn't even know any of them had $1 million, and they were long-term clients up to 40 years, correct, Dave?
That's exactly right.
And I'd like to add one more thing too. For anyone that's has no experience or is on the fence about coming into the program, I'd highly recommend it because as far as learning, George is very open as far as training you and teaching you. And I got to thank George for that, personally, because, not a lot of people would take you under their wing like that. So, I mean, the resources are there for new people to learn.
The thing I will throw in there, though, is, and I'm just an upfront honest guy, is anybody on this video who's making 60,000 or 80,000 or 100 or even 150, and they think that they made it in life and they don't want to work that much harder, I'm honestly, this program is not for you, because the people who enter this program, if they do what I tell them to do and they keep marketing and they market their own clients, I'm beating up on Don to market his clients. He hasn't done that yet. Dave did. Is literally $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year in insurance commissions, and it's not a big deal once you start closing them. And think about that. If you do $300,000 a month, you're looking at $20,000 in commissions a month, $240 at the end of the year. So the profitability of this is off the charts. But if you're happy with $60,000 a year, this isn't for you.
Yeah. And I appreciate you adding that in, George. And one thing I will say in closing here is, I'm really, really proud of the two guys that are on here today. They've stepped up. Like I said, this program was in the infancy stages last year when these guys jumped in. I'm super motivated for them, going into 2025. I look forward to the success they're going to have in 2025. I look forward to working with you as well, George, from that side of things. And I just want to thank all three of you for kind of joining the call today, because like I said, as I have these conversations with agents and people who are coming in or showing interest to the program, these are kind of questions that I'm getting a lot of, right? And they're saying, how are these agents doing? How is this person doing this? What would they say to me if I was new to it or if I'm having hesitation? So it's just really good to pick your brains. I appreciate you guys being on this call today. Thank you again for being here, for taking your time. And I look forward to your guys' success in 2025.
Hey, thanks.
Absolutely. Thank you again. Take care. Thank you, everybody. If you are interested moving forward from this point, please feel free to reach out to me personally. My number is 717-216-8063. My email address is codyw@urlinsgroup.com. Again, that is codyw, CODY, the letter W, @urlins, the word group.com. Thank you again, everybody. I appreciate your time, and I look forward to working with you. Thank you so much.